whatever spiritual practices, we shall have to keep in mind that the practice must be targeted to transform, improve, or change of the mindset. The bodily practices, such as yoga postures, the vocally practices such as japa, mantras, all these are not ultimately aimed for the improvement of body and the sound. All these are for the improvement of mindset. So this objective must be very clear. Then secondly, anyone who is taking the journey in the spirituality, the person should understand or have a kind of watchfulness to one's own mental process, particularly the thought processes. What are the negative thought? What are the positive thought? What are the neutral thought? So these things we shall have to understand. In the Buddhist science of mind, they are very vast subject. We study it for a number of years. The root mind and the periphery mind, the difference of mindset is in the category of few hundred different sets, so which are not easy to recognize. But broadly, the development of mind can be categorized into three groups: the attachment, raga, the hate, dvesh, and the ignorance, the moh. So these are the basic negative mindset. Attachment refers to a kind of possessiveness, me, my. I must not lose this possession or this property or this thing. So too attached. And the other is a hate to other person, with dissatisfaction, with anger, with jealousy, many kind of thing which in the category of hate. And all this attachment and hate is come out of ignorance. Ignorance has a number of different categories. Not knowing the things on which we have attachment. The impermanence of the things if you are known properly, then such strong attachment may not arise. And similarly, you know there's no reasoning to hate others, and hating other will not solve any problem, not serve any purpose, and on the contrary, it contaminates the mind. So therefore, these three basic negative emotions, we must be alert whenever our thought process comes. A part of our mind should be a kind of watchdog. The coming thought process is morally, ethically okay or is not okay. It is in the category, any kind of category of attachment or hate. So if you have a watchful to that, then in the beginning you may not be able to avoid such negative emotion arises, but at the same time you have a kind of feeling this thought process is not right, it is not ethically okay, it is immoral, I should not subscribe to that kind of thought process, I should avoid this kind of thought process. So this kind of mindfulness, there are two words these days much used, mindfulness or awareness. There is not much difference. If you have a watchful mindset all the time, then you will be able to recognize, see the arising of negative emotions at the very beginning. In an ordinary state, we are not practicing the spiritual path. The negative emotions, you will realize that it was negative after a long time. When you are under the influence of anger, you will not see anything, the negativeness of the anger. And you are completely under the influence of anger, and which may cause numerous inappropriate actions, words, and decisions. And after some time, when you become little normal, you will realize that it was not correct. So this realization should be practiced to come immediately whatever mindset arises. So this watchfulness, in other words, we call it observation. Try to practice sustainable and consistent observation of one's own mind. At this moment, we are always looking outside, externalized. Our mind is externalized. Many things, many happenings, many events come to our thought process, but the thought process is remain unnoticed. Anger, envy, desire, greed, particularly in the modern, postmodern civilization, our greed is very much exploited through external things. The consumeristic society, our greed is the instrument of the producers. Humanity used to be, in the ancient time, humanity used to be users of commodity. Today we are not users, we are consumers. We have to consume as much as possible. So for that, our greed is being exploited through advertisement, through many attractive pictures, images, and slogans, catching slogans, so that our greed. So we forgot what is our need and what is our greed. We have the right to use all necessary things which are need to our body and mind. And beyond that, whatever we use is we are using somebody else's share. Gandhi have said a very beautiful sentence that the natural resources, the Mother Earth, is capable of satisfied everyone living on it, their needs, but it cannot satisfy a single person's greed. So this is a very appropriate statement. So therefore, we shall have to examine whatever wish, will, desire comes to our mind, whether it is positive or negative. So if you are able to examine the thought process in the right beginning, then you will be able to recognize the positive or negative. So thereby, slowly, our mind can be improved. We cannot hope within the days or within the weeks or within the months an apparent change or improvement comes to our mind. So it needs a lot of patience. Practice should be continuum. One day, sit down, meditate for 1 hour, and the another day, completely ignored. So by this kind of practice, we cannot hope a positive change in our mindset. For positive change, we shall have to continue the process of practicing, and at the same time, watchful mind, mindfulness, and responding to the mindfulness notices, the negative emotions and positive emotions. Whenever the negative emotions comes, try to reduce them, shorten them, and reduce the intensity. So we do this kind of practice all the time. And sometimes we are not able to notice the arising of the negative emotions. Whenever they realize, we should have a kind of determination. I will not let unnoticed this kind of emotion in the future. So by this kind of affirmative mind will improve the process of mind and thought, and thereby gradually, slowly, after a few months, after a few years, you will be able to notice the improvement. If you are looking for immediate transformation, that may not be practicable.